What's up guys, welcome to Veldora-kun. From our previous episode, we have witnessed Rimuru getting drunk and them enjoying the night. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, I will put the link in the description below. Just a quick warning, these videos contain spoilers from the light novel. I also want to share to you my YouTube membership, Veldora's Loyal Knights. For more details, just click the join button below. Also, don't forget to join our Discord community, Veldora-kun Subordinates. The link is in the description. See you there. So now in this video we will review what happened next, which is the meeting between Jura Tempest and Holy Empire Ruberios. But before we will proceed, please like, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now without further ado, let's proceed with the video. They already admitted their faults, so rather than demanding reparations, they decided to try together to build a friendly relationship in the future. And that was honestly Rimuru's wish. He contemplated the matter as he awaited Rumina's and the rest. Representing Tempest Federation, there was Rimuru, Xian, Rigurd, and Benimaru as well as the officers in charge of the judicial, legislative, and executive branches, the three chiefs Rugurd, Rigurd, and Rogurd. Veldora was there too but safely ignorable. He had some manga to read, and it's doubtful that he'd even bother to pay attention. On the side of Holy Empire Ruberios, the participants were Rumina's, Louis, and Hinata. In addition, there were also the 5 captains. Rimuru invited them to introduce themselves. There was Vice Captain Reynold, known as Child of Light. There's also the person that is said to be the strongest knight next to Hinata, Arno of Air. As well as Bacchus of Earth, Ritus of Water, and Fritz of Wind. Rimuru had them all seated facing one another, and with that, the proceedings began. He wanted to start with a brainstorm session to see what each side's tale were on this situation. He created a list of issues affecting all of them and have exchanging of information upon the start of the meeting. It was best to rectify any information that appeared different from their understanding, to which Hinata also agreed. Their respective stances were just like what Rimuru have figured. Everything began when the Fire Nation attacked with the invasion of the Pharmas Kingdom. As for how things went down on the Western Saints Church side, Hinata mentioned that there had already been a problem before Pharmas made their request. To put it simply, it would be defying the doctrines of Ruminism to acknowledge the existence of a monster kingdom. It was an urgent matter that may have generated distrust among the believers. If left unattended, the followers might even renounce their faith. It might even end up causing the downfall of the influence of the Western Saints Church. That was why the monster kingdom must be eliminated. For this reason, they needed a reason to justify invading Rimuru's kingdom. Hinata said, that was the situation when we received the request from Archbishop Rahim. Nicholas thus gave the permission. I didn't have an objection at the time, and more importantly, I still wanted to get back at you. Pharmas, while trying to protect its national interest, grew greedy for profits and intended to eliminate Tempest for that cause. At the same time, Hinata also wished to seek revenge. Rimuru asked, was it because of Shizu-san? And Hinata confirms, yes, it was. Now that I think about it, I seem to have been manipulated as well. I don't know who is operating behind the scenes, but there are definitely Eastern merchants involved. And Rimuru said, merchants? I knew it. There were merchants going in and out on Demon Lord Clayman's side as well. Moreover, although Geld and his men are currently under my command, in the past they were all fully geared. I assumed they were connected to one nation or another. I guess it was the East then. Rimuru nodded after coming to the realization. There were a large number of business transaction records in the ledger from Clayman, which Rimuru asked Shuna to investigate. The Eastern Empire produced most of the merchandise that Dworgen originally exported. That wasn't suspicious, since the Empire and Kingdom had regular trade with each other, but there were no records of all of the middlemen involved in this. Shuna had done a thorough investigation yet was still unable to find out the real identity of their trade partner. Even after they asked the assorted officials they took as prisoner. Demon Lord Clayman was extremely cautious and ordered his subordinates to be meticulous with their work, not leaving behind any evidence. They found absolutely nothing on the moderate clown troupe either, the group closely affiliated to Clayman. However, On the matter of who the trade partner was, there were still ways to determine the identity of the person. In Clayman's castle, they found a collection of artwork, rare magic items, and other such goods collected from all over the world. Yet most of his weapons and gear came from the Empire. Because of teleportation magic, there wouldn't be an issue with transportation, no matter where he purchased them. Yet he specifically imported their goods from the Empire, meaning the two must have been somehow connected. Even though this could only count as indirect evidence, it was a decisive piece to victory. In addition, the same logic applied to the food ingredients. There was an abundance of fruit, bread, and dairy products as well as other consumable goods. A large amount of food ingredients were stored in Clayman's base. These goods couldn't be teleported through magic alone and had to rely on physical transportation. The agricultural products did not match up with the food items found in their storage. According to Shuna's investigation, there were several food items that must have required exports from other nations. If that were the case, the prime suspect would be the neighboring Eastern Empire. Since Milim was self-sufficient in her land, she wouldn't even have had the thought of trading with others. Furthermore, neither Milim nor ex-demon Lord Carrion had the money to trade such goods with others. That was another reason why I suspected that the people who colluded with Demon Lord Clayman were from the Eastern Empire. Hinata agrees, that's right. They were the ones that told me that you had murdered Shizu-san. They also mentioned that you happened to be in Ingratiate at the time. That's why I took the initiative to kill you. And Rimuru replies, yeah. The timing then was horrible, even now it still pisses me off when I think about it. Hinata shivered a bit and Arno and the rest of the Holy Knights were cowed. Rumina's answers, quit intimidating them now. Your Demon Lord Haki is leaking out because of your anger, Yuruki. Rimuru only realized that his demonic aura seemed to be leaking out. He only recently learned how to perfectly control it, but still couldn't suppress it entirely when he got agitated. Rimuru apologized and continued, so, it's pretty clear an Eastern merchant or merchants is behind this. Do we know any names? And Hinata said, that person called himself Dharm. But it must have been an alias. Rimuru thinks it made sense that the person would use an alias. But the important thing is the fact that the Eastern merchant was the real culprit. Hinata added, Demon Lord Clayman also had ties with the Eastern merchant. Moreover, it was probably the same party of people that instigated the ex-king of Pharmus, Edmulus. And Xian agrees, that was indeed the case. We were able to clarify that after interrogating Reheim. Rimuru nodded and tried to connect the dots. He said, Demon Lord Clayman must have secretly manipulated the Pharmus kingdom. The two factions are not in a partner relationship. It felt more like the temporary collaboration between enemies. And Benimaru interrupted, and you think the merchants were his boots on the ground? And for Hinata, she muttered to herself, while emitting a dangerous aura, and I was also used by others for this plan. They all needed to find out the mastermind behind all these, however, well, based on how these merchants were involved with every step of this, I'm sure this was more than just convenient business relationship. Clayman was trying to ascend to true Demon Lord level. Pharmus was trying to take our land for its own territorial expansion. Moreover, there is that lord who is pulling the strings. And Rumina's asked, that lord, it was the person Clayman mentioned, wasn't it? Hinata seemed confused, what does that mean? And Rimuru explained, in truth, Demon Lord Clayman seemed to have been following the orders of someone else. Rumina's added, it was quite impressive for a nobody like Clayman to have not revealed the person's true identity even to the very end. Rimuru then realized something and said, could it be that the person's true identity is one of the seven celestials? Rumina's shot Rimuru a dirty look and responds, what? Are you accusing the seven celestials acting on their own behind my back? Even when Rumina's personally eliminated the seven celestials, it must have felt bad to have someone raise doubts about her old subordinates. Rimuru understood her sentiments and was about to apologize, but Louis acknowledged Rimuru's point, I see, we can't really exclude such a possibility. And Rumina's contradicts, now you're spouting that nonsense, Louis. Rumina's shifted her icy glare to Louis. However, Louis was unshaken and decided to continue. Rumina's Sama, please listen to me. The seven celestials craved for your affection. I'm sure you sensed that? And Ruminas asked back, what do you mean by that? Louis explained, your deep affection, in other words, the kiss of love. The last time you did that for them, it was over 100 years ago. Yet in the beginning you would have done the ritual every week. The interval had only gotten longer over time. Have you not noticed that? Ruminas scowls, I see how it is now. Us immortals do tend to forget that they were originally humans. Without my energy, they may not die, but they would certainly grow old. And Louis agrees, exactly. That's why they were striving to stop the aging and hoped that Ruminas-sama wouldn't lay eyes on other adored individuals. Apparently the seven celestials were once humans, that won Rumina's special affection. Human lives, however, are limited, of course, that was why there existed such a ritual to overwrite this fact, the kiss of love from Ruminas. That's why those people probably came up with the plan to win Ruminas-sama's heart again. It wouldn't be strange at all to imagine them working with the Eastern merchants to secretly entice Claimant into action. Speaking of those bunch, especially Master of Sun Gran, his ability would not lose to mere Claimant, Louis concluded. Rimuru thinks he only mentioned it due to a stray thought, yet somehow it managed to connect the dots. He was astounded. How terrifying. The pure boundless wisdom just radiating from his body is truly formidable. And that's it for my video. Now, it's shout-out time. Thank you for rejoining Veldora's loyal knights. Thank you Parag Navnij. And thank you for joining Veldora's loyal knights, Akira Blackblood. I also want to thank my beloved existing loyal knights. Next, I want to give a shout out to my Discord boosters. Thank you for boosting the server. Thank you so much everyone. See you on my next upload.